everybody, welcome back to Mystic Island's trading card game. Today we're going to be going over one of the factions in my game. The faction I'm going to be going over today is the Royalty faction. There's 6 factions: Royalty, Dwarf, Pirate, Skeleton, Mage, and Goblin. So we're going to be going over all of those very soon in the future. Today we're just going over Royalty. Basically going to break down the play style and just some of the cards and how they work for you guys. So if you guys do dig any of these cards, this is the starter deck, the Imperial Woodland starter deck. It comes with half Royalty, half Goblin. So if you are looking to rock with Royalty on the Game Crafter, we got those up, $13.99 for starter decks and $5.99 for booster packs. So hit me up on there if you'd like. But basically, the main thing that Royalty likes to do is get a lot of guys out quick and actually buff your own creatures. So that's their main thing. And their side thing is also gaining health as well to make up for the small creatures they have. So this could be a very deadly combo if your opponent has no answers for it, and it could be a very long day for them. So for example, we'll start off with a few cards here. It's called Noble Knight. Play him for 2, 1 attack, 2 defense. Got a few of him here. Gain X health this turn. X stands for the amount of cards you have left in your hand with a limit of 3. So most times you're going to have 3 cards in your hand. You play him and you're going to gain 3 health right away. So he's a good way of just gaining health. He's a good example of that. Another way of gaining health is through an ability card such as Regret. So the artwork's a little dark on this one. Discard 3 cards, gain 3 health. Good way of gaining health as well. A few more examples of the health is Destined Knight. Gain 1 health when this creature dies. Not bad at all. He's actually the artwork for the starter deck box, so that's pretty cool. And Sharpshooter is also one as well. So 3 attack, 2 defense for 2, already good stats. And when this creature is casted, gain life equal to the amount of Royalty faction creatures on the battlefield prior to this card being casted. So limit of 4 on that one. So you can gain a lot of health in this deck. And if your opponent has no answers for it, or they can't negate any of your health and take you down a notch, it could be a long day. But they don't only have to worry about that. They have to worry about buffing your own creatures. So for example, right here, I have these cards right here, which is Primary Foot Soldier, a very basic card in this game. 1 attack, 1 defense. And when he enters the battlefield, you gain a health, not bad at all. Just is what it is. Not great though. So like, let's say you have 1, 2, 3, 4 on the battlefield for extreme circumstances here. So let's say you have 4 of them. Most likely you're not going to get 4 in a game, but just in case, we'll just do that right now. Infantry Support is also a great card, 4 attack, 4 defense. But this creature says, while this creature is on the battlefield, every Primary Foot Soldier gets a +1 attack, +1 defense counter until this card is destroyed. So you play this, and instantly, +1 attack, +1 defense, +1 attack, +1 defense, +1 attack, +1 defense, and another +1, +1 on that guy as well. I'm going to shift it all over here. So now all these guys are 2 attack, 2 defenses just for casting this card. Now this is one of the only cards that does this, specifically to multiple creatures. So that is a good way to just buff your creatures and concern your opponent a little bit with having too much to handle at once. The odds that happen is pretty rare though, because your deck, depending on the size, if it's a 36 card deck, which is the minimum for me, it wouldn't be bad at all. The odds that you get those guys is not too slim to the point where it's not possible. But the one dude you really want to pick up if you are running Royalty is Dusk Rider. He's the rare creature for set 1. There's actually 2 rare creatures, but this guy's the more important one, as he's a 7 attack, 6 defense, so he's very strong for being 6 cost anyway. And it says, when Dusk Rider kills a creature, give a +1/+1 counter to all the Royalty faction creatures on the battlefield except for him. So you can have up to 2 of these guys in your deck. So for example, we'll have him out here, and you know what, we'll take a few random creatures over here, and let's say you have a 4/4, a 1/1, and a 3/3 out. This guy goes and kills somebody. Every single royalty faction creature on the battlefield, including your opponent's royalty if they're running royalty as well, all get +1 attack, +1 defense counters except for this card. So he can be very deadly, especially if you are looking to attack multiple creatures, but it does come with some risk, because if you're trying to attack creatures every single turn, the risk of him dying is pretty high, especially if you're running if you're playing against a goblin deck or a mage deck with the removal they have in there. So creatures are not the only way you can buff your other creatures. Let's say you have a Lonesome Knight. He's a very plain card, no ability, just 3 attack, 1 defense. He is what he is, not bad at all. But let's say you need him to be a 4 attack right now to kill your opponent's infantry support on the other side, a 4 attack, 4 defense. You know he's going to die when you attack him, so you need him to be at least a 4 attack to make it worth the attack. So you use Sword of the Mighty, a royalty ability card. Give target creature +1 attack, +1 defense until death. Once you use this card, it goes to the bottom of your graveyard. So you can have up to 4 of these in your deck, right here. So that's nice. So let's say we put that on him, +1/+1. Now he's a 4 attack, 2 defense. He can take him out, and both of your creatures die, helping you in the long run. The main things that royalty wants to do are very much shown on the leader. You can only have 1 of in a deck. Leader King Edward's here for the royalty. You can tap him on your turn. All these skills you can only use on your turn. I'm going to have a video about leaders soon. You can tap him to put a +1 defense counter on all royalty for this turn only. Then it gets removed, so that's good for defending. You pay 1 crystal, and target caster gains 2 health. So you can gain yourself health. And then if you pay 2 crystals, you add 1 health to him to keep him alive. So that's pretty good as well. And there's a little tiny bit of revenge in this deck, because you don't want your royalty to die, because it's part of the kingdom. You want to bring the kingdom together and keep all your knights alive, keep all of your royalty faction creatures alive as much as possible. So let's say you have Destined Knight on the battlefield. He has Knight in his name, so therefore he counts as a knight on this card, which is Fallen Knight, an ability card. If a knight creature died this round, the opposing caster takes damage equal to the amount taken by that creature. Let's say your opponent swings at Destined Knight for 6 damage, so he only can take 3 of that, and he will die. But since he took 3 damage, and let's say your opponent's on 2 health, play Fallen Knight, if they have no response, they have to take as much damage as they gave to your knight that they killed this turn. 3 damage to them, you win the game. So it's very situational, but it could be very useful. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this breakdown of the royalty faction. It's not super in-depth or anything like that, but I figured you guys would want to know about it a little bit more. So I'm going to be doing one for each faction. So let me know which faction I should do next, and hopefully you guys check me out on the Game Crafter. Sorry. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out.